Welcome, my friends. I'm so glad to see you in here. I'm so glad that this video would be something that is another step forward for just informing about some aspects of us as human beings that is so common for all of us, that is in there to just guide us to discover who we really are and on what levels, where we are. So the reason, the idea behind really wanting to show you this perspective that I've been blessed to discover is to show you not only how from this ancient perspective that the chakras are, and this classical perspective on hero's journey that goes through all those stages of a hero for a typical, maybe not even typical, just a movie that has all the components needed to be interesting one. And this combination of both is something that I found so interesting that already more than a couple of months ago, it's already 11th, let's say, episode of this whole human hero's journey and this path of chakras method, that for me it led me to evolve, to see, to try to combine all those elements, to simplify this perspective, to give some tools to all of you that want to discover where you are on all those aspects, maybe just from this starting point to discover those aspects that the chakras are of who you are, and check where you are potentially on your hero's journey while discovering those aspects. So it's already the 11th episode, and we are already after all those episodes where we described human hero's journey, when we went to check how this human hero's journey might depict in my story. We went to all those weeks with chakras, describing each and every chakra, basing on the best materials available of people that discovered chakras, but not from mental perspective. They either discovered those chakras, those energy points, by deep meditation. They discovered that there is energy, or they were the ones that had woken up this Kundalini energy that flows through those chakras to energize us, to bring this finalization of our story here on earth, through all those planes, through physical plane, through astral plane, and this causal plane as well. Then we went to check how these chakras outlined, how they appeared in my story. And then I went ahead to just show you this simplified version of combining both the chakras and human hero's journey in the path of chakras and human hero's journey method that I called the POCH method. So today I wanted to show you how many elements you need to really discover where you are on your human hero's journey. So, without further ado, let's switch to the slides. So, as you see in here, and that is this perspective that is very interesting on how it might be easy yet complicated for the God to create all of this. How detailed all those elements are. How beautiful they can combine. And how we, as human beings, evolve through our life, through those steps of being the human being. There is no other being. It's human being. There's no tiger being, no elephant being, human being. And this human being evolves throughout the life with those specific stages where he conquers the life, where he goes over each and every chakra, not necessarily to clean them up fully on each and every level. It's to self-develop, to evolve those chakras, not necessarily to already the top level, to the last stage, to this finalization of hero's journey, to this Kundalini energy reaching the crown chakra, going through all those chakras, the vibration, the stabilization of the flow, the alignment of those chakras, but as well evolving as human being throughout the chakras to finalize the hero's journey. And this whole POCH method is this simplified perspective on what needs to be done, as you see in here. So this evolution happens on all those three major levels, because we can consider those as major levels. So it's the level of us as human beings on the physical level, then taking the chakras and adding this element of hero's journey in there to check where we are, and then going back as this transition from this state where we are to where we want to go. The same for this mental aspect, where we go to the chakras to verify on all those chakras that are on the mental aspect, to evolve those by hero's journey steps and go back as this transition to this new status quo state that we want to evolve to. And then this is the spiritual aspect that we are evolving, having this map of chakras as our guidance, and then evolving on those steps of hero's journey and doing the transition back to the new status quo, to the new spiritual aspect that we have. So this path of chakras method and human hero's journey, it's the path of transformation. As you see in here, it kind of reflects this serpent of Kundalini energy, because this is the essence of our evolution. The Kundalini energy is this aspect that is driving us through all those steps, the material world test, the abandonment of attachment to anything. It's not only the attachment to things that we want, it's as well the attachment to the things that we don't want to get rid of, that we cannot let go on the physical level. Similar on the mental level, similar on spiritual level as well. So as well, this is the element of rediscovering our true purpose on this physical level, to finding out that not necessarily only this physical aspect is the way to go. It's not necessarily only this finding out of true physical purpose, but clarifying that this physical purpose might be a stepping stone for this emotional and intellectual human being to start discovering the mental aspects, to start discovering how to evolve this mental aspect, because this physical aspect might not be enough, the security might not be enough on its own. We want to evolve usually in this point, and we want to have some new mental experiences, mental abilities. We are evolving in here, we gain experiences, we have those trials on the road, on the stage 2 of human hero's journey. We are stabilizing our character on all those mental aspects of ourselves. And we are evolving into this loving and conscious human being that starts to discover that not necessarily the head location, the intellect, is the main driver of why we are here on earth. It's not only the needs of the mind, the needs of ego that are worth considering. There is something more, and we start to discover more and more of what we want to evolve to. So this loving and conscious human being, this new spiritual discovery, new experiences, enlightenments, new spiritual guides, gurus, we start to discover some aspects of spirituality that we had previously only in the religion aspect, where we were told that we need to believe in those things, and as a statements we find out that if we start to have much more hunger for spirituality, we discover that we as well internally can be the source of this spiritual wisdom to ourselves. We start to discover that we have our inner selves. We start to discover that there is not only this physical and emotional external world with events that are igniting us, that affect us, as well we have some internal world that is in there waiting for discovery, and we start to undergo this spiritual transformation that has as well all those stages in cycles, all those stages with basic knowledge about spirituality, then with this knowledge that has those new elements appearing while we start to open more and more into spirituality. Not only texts, not only gurus, not only the experiences of spirituality. Finding out that we on spiritual level as well have some capabilities that we were not aware of, that we thought that those are only like fairy tales, like stories. We start to discover that, okay, it starts to make sense. Okay, I start to experience those. Okay, I start to be the observer of reality, and I see that really there is something more. My mind even starts to be convinced that there is more beyond what the mind can perceive with the senses. 5, 7, 9 senses, depends on how you count them. And then we, as human being that wants to say, okay, where I am, we can start using those Path of Chakra method tools. So one of those tools, it's this core attributes element, the tool for providing you the mapping first from the physical aspect, to map them to the root chakra and to the sacral chakra. Then you have the mental aspect, which maps to solar plexus chakra and the heart chakra. Then you have the spiritual aspect with throat chakra, third eye chakra and the crown chakra. And then you start to discover these major attributes as a core, because as you saw in those steps that we had in those webinars about chakras, you know that besides those core elements, chakras connect to much more elements than we can really describe in this manner that just wants to have simplicity. But those are the core ones for each and every chakra. So having those, we can move further to just reconsider all those stages of classical hero's journey as the second tool. Having this departure stage, initiation stage, and return stage. With all those, we basically can convert it into the 3-step process. So we can take the first tool, so the chakras, and we can create, as you saw in previous webinar, the mind map with selected level of details. You just select either the body, mind and spirit grouping, so that you have like more general view on where you are, or you can select directly the chakras perspective to align the specific chakras and respective attributes. The second element that will be put on top of that is we should take this other tool, so Hero's Journey, and add the respective stages to already created mind map. You just select those 3 main stages for general overview, which is suggested one on the initial stage, and then you select the sub stages to have better understanding where you specifically are. It's advised to be populated after the next step that we are showing in here. So this population of the respective stages from tool 1 with those attributes from tool 1. And then we can add those sub-stages so that the basic concept is to have in the core those 3 elements or chakras, then second one those main stages, then those core attributes, and then specify on which specific sub-stage you are at. Optionally, we can convert it into mind map or into the regular map or matrix format for instant visibility of where we are and likely direction of where we would like to go, what aspect of ourselves we would like to take a step further to develop. So this is this idea that is basing on my human hero's journey with Path of Chakras is to depict how it looks like. So for body, mind and spirit aspect, you see that those are mapped in here, and then you add those step 2 hero's journey stages, and step 3 you populate the chakras attributes in those. This other perspective is taking the chakras as suggested. So step 1 just selecting all those chakras, step 2 adding hero's journey stages, and step 3 just populating the chakras attributes. And as you see in here, the final aspect is to just take those stages individually and add all those 3, all those sub stages, not necessarily 3, usually it's around 6 for every stage. So then we have like complete picture of where we are on physical or mental and emotional and spiritual aspect. Next, what you can do is to create and convert it into the mind map or matrix format, and then you can have this nice and visible detailed map of self-development. So for me, as you see in here, from this lowest levels, from the physical level, from the root chakra, is the stability has been on the 4th stage of on the 4th sub stage of stage 1, the physical energy on 6th sub stage of stage 2, self security on the 15th of stage 3, and all those other ones accordingly. So self-confidence, humor, mental clarity, creativity, joy, trust, love, connection, truth, purpose, communication, perception, equanimity, awareness, wisdom, vision, and intuition. All those outlined in here just to show you where you are right now, and those to show you where likely you can go from this point, what might be the next point that awaits you. As you see in the previous one, those things start to move around. What's worth mentioning is that this aspect is not only good for self-development, but as well it's the aspect that is worth seeing on where your ideal client is. So if you are considering the chakras as the tool to describe someone, to describe the one that you are looking for, ideal client, it's not only in the marketing terms, it's as well someone ideal for you as human being, someone that you are looking for, to describe where you would like this person to be, or where you would not like this person to be. That might be as well this other aspect, because usually if seeing the ideal client, you consider what are those required elements and what are those elements that are really highlighting you, that you should not really consider that client the ideal client. And as well here how this ideal client transformation should look like for you. So what you want to provide to this client as this transformation that you are taking your ideal client through, and on both perspectives. So the perspective of how you can help the other human being to evolve, what you see you can do to help them evolve, what you can do to make sure you provide the transformation, and as well what bridge you can build for them to provide them the transformation. So this is this perspective that I wanted to show you, to introduce you to this mastermind that I think is the one that is very interesting to have and very interesting to just try to enable this exercise for you. Enable you to say, okay, where I want to be as me. Should my stability, physical energy and self-security be all over the place? Should I stay focused on the physical aspect? Or should my evolution from this top aspect with crown chakra, the areas of causal plane for human being, should I focus on those? Or still I feel the need to work on some other aspects of me, like maybe joy, maybe creativity, maybe sense of humor, mental clarity, self-confidence, love and self-love as well. The connection, the trust are those already evolved to the level that I want them to be in, or not. This aspect of communication, aspect of the truth, the purpose, the perception, the equanimity, the vision, the intuition, if those aspects of our spiritual selves are maybe more interesting to develop than other ones, how you see yourself right now, how you want to evolve, how you want to go through your path of chakras method, how you want to align yourself on those stages. This is so profound that it's so fun to talk about really all those elements in here, how you can move those around, how you can move those around consciously, how you can reflect back on really this stage of this hero's journey that you are at, the stage that you likely can go by the description of this specific stage. As you remember those stages, they have the natural next step, the likely one. In each of this major stage, you have sub-stages that are the likely element that will appear next in your story. So, just to maybe concluding here on this introduction, I would like to invite you to think about where you are and where you want to go. Just use this path of chakras method to start mapping your life to the best map available, to the best map that exists currently, to the map that not only maps the ancient Indian chakras view, the chakras that map as well to Kabbalah's tree of life, those mystical aspects of ourselves that are in there, they function. Meditation is your way to discover those. And as well, this path that you follow while Kundalini energy starts to rise is your human hero's journey over those chakras. And that is your destination here right now, to develop each and every day to be better version of you. This is your core task. Experience, grow, and share with others. For today, thank you very much. It was great pleasure for me to be your host. It was a great pleasure to think, to have some input from outside, how we can simplify this process so that you can use it on daily basis as your tool, your map to develop yourself, to help others develop, to find your ideal avatar, either in terms of client or in terms of the other soul that you were here to guide or to make aware that we are much more than physical body, the mental aspect, and we are the spiritual aspect. We are the soul that is experiencing this human hero's journey. Thank you very much and enjoy watching this episode. Enjoy watching all the other episodes as they highlight this story. Bye.